FanProject Saurus Ryu-Oh was a third-party attempt that was pretty darn awesome of the Transformers Victory Dino King Dino Force team. I remember when this came out, actually the very first Pretender shell and inner robot from the third-party FansProject release was a TF Con sister convention exclusive, which is, I believe it was 80s Toy Expo. You were able to pick up the Ryu-Oh member, which was the Triceratops, and you were able to get it exclusively at 80s Toy Expo before everywhere else. And then, of course, it showed up everywhere else afterwards. What's cool about this was it had a massive Pretender shell. And I actually bought it because of the fact that this thing was a massive Pretender shell. I always felt that Hasbro, if they ever did Pretenders, it probably won't be in this crazy scale. And anyone who has these Dino Pretenders from FansProject know what I'm talking about. These things are like, they're huge. They're like, there's not a single, well, first of all, there's not a single pre-existing official Pretender shell that even comes close to that size, just to give you an idea. It's easily the largest Pretender ever. And speaking in hindsight now, we look at now how Hasbro is handling Pretenders, pretty tiny.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we ever did get Dino Pretenders, they're probably going to be on this tiny scale. Probably not too much bigger than how the originals were, if anything. So that being said, so they released all of this. We got the Pretender shells of the Dino Force guys done in third party by FansProject. We had the inner robots done too. They were all sold separately. It was very successful. Everything was said and done. Lo and behold, no surprise, just like how the original Dino Force was a repaint from Monstructor, the G1 set of monster Pretenders, these guys are going to get a Monstructor treatment. So we have FansProject Saurus Ryu-Oh Beaststructor gift set. So what they're going to do this time around is, instead of doing individual releases, they're going to take all the inner robots, put it into one box set, and each individually name them, and do it at a price point of $349, which is actually very affordable compared to what it was buying individually.
Sold.
And
gimme.
You were saying?
Sold. Gimme.
Yeah,
I want it.
It's a lot cheaper. If there's one thing that's just kind of sucks is when you had the Dino King guys, you were able to buy Pretender shells for them. There's no sign yet if there's going to be Pretender shells for these guys. I would not be surprised if this box set sells very well, that then they'll decide to slowly do the individual Pretender shells of Ice Pick and Blot and all of them. So that'd be really cool to see. The names of them, they kind of went a simple route, because originally it was like it'd be like Dino-Ichi, Ryo-Ichi and stuff. So now they're going Beast-Ichi, Beast-Ni, Beast-San, Beast-Go, Beast-Roku. For people who are not making the connection there, they're all named after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in Japanese. Ichi, Ni, San, Shi, Go. So they're just putting Beast in front of it, as opposed to before it was Ryu. Which means like dinosaur or dragon. So really cool. I really dig it. I mean, we knew this was going to be coming sooner or later. I was actually surprised that they went with the Dino Force colors first, but I think it was more so just because, everyone really wanted to get the Dino Force with Pretender shells, because they're the more well-known of the two because of the Victory cartoon.
Yeah.
Where Monstructor really had very limited appearances. In the IDW comics, he was very limited, and everything else in general. But it looks great. They have a release date here for June of 2018, so just in time for TFCon. We're going to go into TFCon in July, and these guys will probably be all over the place to pick up. Very affordable. The individual robots from the ones that I own are really awesome. If they ever do Pretender shells, if they're anything like those original Pretender shells, they're probably going to be just as awesome. I did a review of one of their Pretender shells. You could check on Proto Retro, and I kind of compared to the originals and to the Japanese ones and everything, and it was a really, really good release and was really worth it. And I mean,
definitely very Dino Riders-esque.
Oh
when
yeah,
I look at it basically.
Oh yeah, And again, that's the thing. Like for me to buy third party, there's really got to be something there, and that was something that really called to me. With this box set, I don't like right now. There's nothing that tells me to pick it up, but if they do those pretender shells, that will call to me because again, now we know how Hasbro is going to handle pretenders or decoy armors as they're called at this point. So if they do massive, huge monster pretender shells, oh, I'm sold. I'm going to buy them right away. But this box set, though, that being said, 349 USD for all 6 members. That's a really good price, considering what the individual prices were. And on top of that, the centerpiece, usually the original, the original centerpiece of this would have suffered heavily from GPS. So this time around, I'm not sure what the third-party name for it would be. If it's number 2 on the list, it's probably Beast-Shi. So Beast-Shi, which would be the centerpiece here, is gold, but he's not going to suffer from
I think he probably won. I think he would probably be the first
Oh yeah,
one.
It's probably one. I don't know. I don't know what they were.
I think it would be Ichi because if you're looking at the images, it just says number 2, but even the picture with
it's true,
everybody
it's just
together
the numbering
is
of
number
the
1,
images.
So.
Yeah, you're right. But as I was saying, it's just the original one didn't suffer from this. Excuse me, the original suffered from GPS. So it's something that the way that I see it is now you could also pick this up and not worry about, oh my God, I might absolutely totally destroy my original one.
Yeah.
Because it was a very fragile toy, and anyone who owns the original Monstructor, just plugging in the pieces to make the arms and stuff, it's some pretty scary stuff. So getting something that replaces that with better articulation and you don't have to worry about stuff busting on you, I'm all for that, let me tell you.
I'm definitely digging this thing because I don't know. I think I'm more willing to get this because it doesn't have the pretender shells. I'm more. I think I'm a bit too young for pretender shells, like in the sense of it being nostalgic and being like, oh man, I remember those things. So like,
well, the funny thing is they actually kind of came out after you started collecting Transformers. It's just they came out during a time when no one was paying attention to Transformers.
I don't remember them, and they probably were there, because I remember them on the back of the box for
Power Master Prime.
But I probably was like, that doesn't look like a Transformer, and you just gloss over it. You know what I mean? That doesn't look like a
Pretenders.
Robot, you know what
Pretenders
I mean?
were pretty much Hasbro's answer to a certain 1987 toy line that was ripping up the shelves at the time, which was in 87 Ninja Turtles came out.
Right.
And 87 for Transformer fans was Headmasters. So they already were getting, taken to town by this Ninja Turtle line that by the time 1988, 1989 rolled around, Ninja Turtles was already in its second and third wave of figures.
Yeah.
And the first season of the cartoon was, killing it. So Transformers and Hasbro were just like, we got to do what's hot with kids right now, and that's mutants and monsters and stuff like that. And
but for my childhood, I don't remember that section is completely non-existent for pretender shells, and I don't remember anybody that I knew. Like, you go over to your friend's house or you go over to somebody's house and you're playing with toys.
No one was playing with Transformers at that point. You were picking up a Leonardo action figure.
What I'm trying to say is, like, usually you would see something. Oh, well, my older brother had this and he doesn't play with it anymore, and then you would see maybe a half of a shell or something. Yeah. Never is what I'm trying to say. Like, I've never encountered them.
So essentially, if you're someone who in the past owned a Bristleback or a Slog from the original Pretenders, you can now replace them and get these nice third-party ones that won't suffer from GPS. And you'll have something really cool. These guys will, I guarantee, will definitely be a presence at TFCon Canada.
For sure.
So it'll. I have to do like some.
Is this? How big? How tall?
The individual robots, I did on my review. You could kind of get an idea of scale. The individual robots are I would have to say in between Deluxe and Voyager. So
Okay.
it's a pretty big guy.
Okay.
It's a pretty big dude. I don't have all the members, so I never made the combined form. I just kind of bought the Pretender shells because that was
Hmm.
the thing that was really important to me.
Right.
But I mean, I have a few of the individual ones, and they're not terrible. And the ones that I did buy the robots of, it's again like you mentioned before, the whole Dino Riders idea.
Yeah.
I just bought them because there were certain guys I wanted riding on top of the dinosaurs, so I bought those individual guys, and they're not terrible. You know what I mean? They're typical. I mean, number one, it's Fans Project,
Yeah. Exactly.
so right away you know this isn't some questionable third party company. This is Fans Project. It's good stuff, and you add to the fact
Tested.
that I mean it's something that I know Hasbro won't do or do better. You can't go wrong, and the price point for the box set is worth it if you have a nostalgic connection to the original monster bots as opposed to Dino King. From a collector standpoint, everyone recognizes Dino King because of Transformers Victory.
Right.
Most people who will favor Monstructor will be more because of just the original G1 America releases. But I mean, it's cool stuff. Wendell mentioned something that was really funny, how we got the monsters and they got the dinosaurs. Like, let's say what you were going to say about that. You
Oh
said
yeah.
it off the air
So
and it resonated with me.
so Proto-Man basically showed me the images of like these guys
The
together.
originals.
So I'm just looking at Monstructor, Super Warrior, and then with Ice Pick and Bristleback and all that, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, so these are the Japanese ones, right? Because they look like Toku monsters. They look like monsters that people would be in suits and they're running around destroying a little small
It's something
soundstage.
Ultraman would be fighting.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they look like. And he's like, no, those are the American ones. And I'm like, what? But then he sends me the picture of the Japanese ones, and they're all dinosaurs with like battle armor and lasers and stuff, laser guns and stuff. And I'm like, but these look like Dino Riders. This makes no sense. What backwards world am I in?
It is, and it is funny because I've never thought about it, but all those, because I always associated Pretenders with Hasbro just trying to keep up with Ninja Turtles. But when you really look at the Monster Pretenders, especially like the Monster Pretender shelves, say like Bird Brain and stuff, man, that looks like some stuff Ultraman fought.
Yeah,
You know, like
exactly.
there's been so many Ultraman villains that looked like Bird Brain or that looked like Ice Pick. So it's pretty crazy like that. I almost feel like maybe it was intentional. Maybe the Dino King team. I mean, this isn't confirmed. Don't take my word for it. But maybe the Dino King team was created first for the Hasbro market, and then they went, no, that's too close to Dino Riders, and so maybe and maybe the Monstructor team was the one that was supposed to be for Japan, and they're like, man, that's too close to the kaiju stuff that's going on with with Bandai of Japan. Who knows? Who
And they just
knows? But I
swap
mean,
sides or something, or maybe someone like got them mixed up and sent over the wrong one. They're like, well, we're in it now.
it really makes me wonder. Like, I mean, which really did come first? It's very hard to say. I mean, if I had to take a guess, it probably was the Hasbro ones. It usually is the case in that era. But at the same time, it's interesting. But either way, I mean, it's just something I just wanted to bring up. It was something that Wendell said off the air that really resonated with me. But yeah, so this Fans Project set's pretty cool. Again, June 2018 is when it's going to start going on sale to buy and have shipped to you. But I mean, if you're going to be at TFCon, I'm pretty sure this is going to be all over the place at all the booths. So if you want to pick it up, definitely wait till then. You could get it free shipping because it'll be right there in person. If I had to take a guess, it's 349 American. Let's aim for like 400, 450 Canadian will be at
Yeah,
TFCon's booth. But
pretty
who knows,
much.
maybe even cheaper. But yeah, Beast-Structor from Fans Project.